Good day. My name is Sonia Mathieu. I'm from the Department of Conservation Ecology and Entomology, and the question is, why conservation ecology? Hoekom Bewaringsekologie? We all know our world is in a crisis. With the global increase in the human population, there's ever-growing pressure on our natural resources. We also know that recent scientific reports state that we are heading for an increase in the global temperature. This will result in a high incidence of extreme weather events and natural disasters, which will further put pressure on biodiversity and the ecosystem services that they provide. We are definitely heading for water and food crises. South Africa is known for its biodiversity and conservation initiatives. However, only about 8% of the land surface area is designated and set aside for conservation. We need to increase our conservation footprint as much as possible. Yes, there are various initiatives, and we can adopt various practices, and some of them have been listed in the action plan. Firstly is to expand protected areas, then to increase biodiversity monitoring, and also identifying priority areas where conservation should take place. But this is not enough. We need to adopt and promote conservation-friendly practices in our daily lives. And that is why the motto of the department is Conservation in Utilized Landscapes, Bewaring en Benutte Gebiede. Let's look at the Conservation Ecology program. The program started in 2002 in the then Faculty of Forestry, and it was presented as part as a BSc in Forestry with Conservation Ecology. However, in recent years, the need increased and the demand for conservation practitioners increased to the extent that Conservation Ecology is presented as an independent program within the Faculty of AgriSciences. We cap our first-year student intake at 40 students, so that we sit with an average of about 160 students in the department every year. The department, as well as the program, is managed by a diverse and dynamic team of academic researchers as well as industry-funded research associates. Our strength lies in the fact that each of us are passionate about our individual research themes, as well as committed to teaching and training, providing quality teaching and training for our graduates. Several of our academics and research associates receive rewards annually, both locally as well as internationally, for research excellence in their conservation-related fields. And our strength lies in the fact that research excellence forms the basis of quality teaching and training. Let me tell you about the course content. This is a 4-year degree. When you come to university, you will sit in class with students from various programs, for example, animal science as well as biodiversity and ecology. It's a generic year where you'll be receiving training in modules such as chemistry, biology, geo-environmental science, computer skills, and mathematics. From the second year onwards, the proportion of conservation-related modules that you will take will increase progressively, and there will be more and more fieldwork taking place during the practical periods. At third year, you will also be allowed to select between different modules, for example, biodiversity and ecology, geographic information technology, and also soil science. The fourth year is the most interesting and fun year. This is the time when students become more specialized due to selecting subjects that's more in line with their interest. It's also an academically challenging year because you not only have to pass these modules, but you also have to conduct a mini research project that has to be written up as a dissertation at the end of the year. The fourth year is at the same NQIF level as a BSc honours degree. This means that our students can go directly into a MSc, a Master of Science degree. This is different if you would do like a BSc conservation a BSc in Biodiversity and Ecology. That's a 3-year degree, and you would need to separately apply for a BSc honours degree. Several of our students carry on doing masters after graduating. However, there's also students that go directly into the workplace. And then there have been students that took on other programs, such as studying law or even journalism, but I will get to this a bit later. There are 2 programs at Stellenbosch University that's got botany and zoology. The first is Biodiversity and Ecology that is offered in the science faculty. This is a 3-year degree. This will provide you with a strong basis of botany and zoology related subjects, very foundational, in-depth studies. In our program, Conservation Ecology, this is, as I mentioned, a 4-year degree. It's a professional degree. We also provide our students with strong foundations in botany and zoology, in addition to adding additional service modules. The information that you gain is then used in a more practical orientation, solving real problems, and it's very systems orientated. So I see the department and the program as conservation in action, where you use the knowledge and in a more applied manner to solve real life problems. Okay, well, where is a conservation ecologist ending up? What systems? Well, I've mentioned to you that our motto is conservation utilized landscapes, and our students work in any or various human-related systems, for example, agriculture, forestry, and even reserves. Some students would work more with people and communities, where they would guide farmers into more sustainable farming practices, or other students would work more directly with plants and animals, monitoring or doing research on them. It very much depends on your interest and your passion. But at the end of the day, our students focus on mitigating the effect of humans on the environment. Remember that I mentioned to you law and journalism? Well, these are interesting niche areas. If you combine your conservation ecology with a degree in law, journalism, or even engineering, you can practice environmental law, and you can write about environmental related issues in newspapers and magazines. And also with engineering combination, you can maybe work in renewable energy. Just giving you some examples of systems or setups where our students are working in. Firstly, if you have a large natural area and you want to develop on it, so either setting it out for housing development or renewable energy or even a road, you need to conduct an environmental impact assessment. And this is where our students come into play. We guide them and train them during the 4th year with regard to the methods and the procedures that is important and relevant to conduct these EIAs. Another important area where our students work in is restoration ecology, working for mines, NGOs or conservation-related organizations, basically restoring transformed habitats. Maybe it was transformed due to mining or clearing of alien invasives or farming practices. So our students would then go out and actively implement measures to restore it to its natural system, natural state. Students carrying on with masters and specializing also often end up as field ecologists at large private and also national nature reserves. Students also work as researchers in at various institutions, either universities or technical universities, or even in the private sector. If you specialize in entomology, you can work as a technical advisor in integrated pest management. This can be done either in a private capacity as a consultant or working for a large fruit-producing company. And then lastly, the rural communities are often very dependent and more directly dependent on natural resources. Environmental officers train and guide these communities with regard to sustainable practices that's to the benefit of the environment and also the communities that depend on these natural resources. Another or a unique system about our department and the program is that we have got strong associations with industry. I've mentioned to you that we've got industry-funded research associates that work in the department and that have got active research projects, but we also, other staff members also work with industry partners in terms of developing research projects that address industry-related problems. These industry partners often provide funding for the project itself and also sometimes bursaries for the students to conduct the research. If the project is good and also if the student is a good student and there's work opportunities, then these students end up working for these companies. So it's a win-win situation for the industry, but also for our graduates and the university. Where are our alumni? We keep track of our alumni through a designated Facebook page. This is only exclusive for our graduates, and we, on a monthly basis, post information with regard to job opportunities, funding, as well as research opportunities. This slide basically shows you some examples of companies and organizations and also the type of positions that our students have been occupying and are currently occupying. So some of them working for governmental organizations like SANBI or private nature reserves like Sabi Sands, but also working for NGOs and at universities and other academic and research institutions. Now I'd like to play 4 short video clips with regard to our undergraduate perspective.
Hello, my name is Werksomgewing and I am studying conservation. I'm from Johannesburg. I started studying conservation because I've always loved nature and I never thought that I would find or get the opportunity to work with it. And when I found out about conservation ecology, I jumped at the first opportunity and I love it.
How's it, everyone? My name is Keegan Stubbs. I grew up on a farm in the Eastern Highlands of Zimbabwe. I chose the Conservation Ecology course because of the 4th year honours inclusive. I didn't really feel like applying after 3rd year for another honours year, and I really am looking forward to the project that I'll be doing next year. What I really enjoy about conservation ecology is the practical aspect, getting out into the field, working with nature, being able to get out of the classroom and get that practical experience. And yeah, I'm really enjoying it so far. Thanks.
Goeiedag, mijn naam is Derisha Engelbrecht, ik is van Perel. Die gedeelte wat ik van hou van de Werksomgewing, die programma, is dat ons baie veldwerk het en ons kan in die natuur werk. En ook die inhoud van die programma is baie gebaseerd, is baie relevant tot die volhoubaarheidscrisis wat ons vandaag in ons tyd het. Dank je.
Hi, I'm Alyssa from Brackenfell and I'm studying conservation ecology. The course content of the modules that you get from your 2nd year onwards are super interesting, and now obviously 3rd year. Your 1st year is very basic and general, but then you still have time to see where your interest really lies. The field work in the course is also super interesting. You learn every day something new, and that's the fun of it. Thank you.
Okay, so please contact us if you want to save the planet, if you're passionate about nature and you want to make a difference. But other general research inquiries are also most welcome. Thank you very much. Baie dankie, Nkosi.